Hunting is not easy. It never has been. It takes dedication, motivation, a lot of patience, and quality gear. If you manage a food plot, put up stands, or need just one more game camera, we can help at MidwayUSA.com. We opened our doors in 1977 and continue to put customers first by offering super fast, same-day shipping. For just about everything for the outdoors, go to MidwayUSA.com.
No live. Just that's how we have to record it now because something's wrong with this.
3, 2, 1, make a decision.
Yeah, you definitely have to make a decision at this point. Either we're recording or we're not recording. But this is episode 305 on the Spectrum. We appreciate you guys jumping back with us this week.
You're on the spectrum.
I was wondering if you were gonna catch that, Steve. We're back from Hunt Stock, and we had a great time hanging out with some good buddies, and we kept the party rolling, dude. We have Jake Hart from Bowminded on for you guys today, and just chit chatting some stories that they told us while we were up there, and it's always good to just kind of to keep the ball rolling. So, this is your boy East Coast Trev, and the Madman's with me again, dude. What's going on, man?
I'm here.
Yeah, well.
Consistent, buddy. Don't miss nothing.
Don't miss just stay consistent. You don't even have to come back then. If you're consistent, you don't have to come back. You know what I'm saying?
Great weekend.
Huh?
Great weekend. Weather was beautiful. Vibe was perfect.
Dude, as always, I mean, the great thing about there is that it's really not a dick swinging contest, which, I mean, they're all big buck killers, right? But they don't. It's not pushed in your face, right? Like everybody gets along, everybody talks to one another, everybody's all smiles. Hey, what do you got going on for the season? The one consistent thing is that I learned this weekend was this. Hey, were you ready for deer season? No.
No.
Nobody was ready. Dude.
Everybody has the same, like everybody says the same thing, like, oh, I did a lot of fishing. Like everybody got into like a little something else, little side hustle, right? And I can fully get behind that, and I might feel a little less prepared for deer season, but mentally I'm rested. Mentally I'm ready for deer season. Actually, as a matter of fact, as we're recording this podcast tonight, talking about deer hunting, I'm like, holy shit! When was the last time we recorded a deer hunting podcast?
It's been some time.
Yeah.
It's been some time. We did get into a little bit of tips and tricks and some other stuff that we kind of thought. I think there's some information to be taken from it. But it's been good to just kick back and just kind of relax and talk on different subjects. And it's funny is we both fish a ton and we don't really podcast about fishing. I feel as like it's a hard edge to talk on. Like, what do you know what I'm saying? Like, unless you like really dive into like the gears, like, the gadgets and that kind of stuff, or it's not really, it's not like, oh, I rolled up on this pool and there was a 21-inch brown, and you know what I'm saying? Like, there's not
chasing that brown for 3.5 years, dude. I passed them last week, bro.
And it's, and no offense to anybody else, but like, I've listened to a ton of fishing podcasts, and unless it's that the gadgets or the tips and tricks, like there's, they're a little, like bass fishing, like, oh yeah, I'm on this bass and, I'm going to this hole, to that hole, to this bed, to that bed. I mean, but it's the tips and tricks. It's a little bit more dry, right? It's not like a deer hunting story, I guess. I don't know. We still kind of make it fun, and we do have them and make them, but I think the hunting podcasts are a little bit more fun.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm itching now, dude. Hunt Stock, I'll be honest with you, like Hunt Stock was definitely like a big motivator. It was like, you know what I mean? Like the timing of the show is like perfect. It's like end of summer. You're right there at that like month to 5 weeks before the season, right. And you come back from Hunt Stock and it's like, dude, like it's go time, man. And then, like it's like perfect. Like I had our buddy Roger from Bow Guy.
Yeah.
He put a new string on the bow tech for me this year because my string was stretched pretty good. I got my bow back from him at Hunt Stock Sunday. He brought it up for me. Like came home, new string, new arrows, new target. Right. I'm out here pounding foam every night. started going through like my pack and getting my saddle stuff all situated, and like it's that time where like you start not like the work prep, but like the gear prep, making sure like everything's ready to go, slowly dialing everything in. So we're about a month out. Month out, we can be in a tree.
It's not that far, man. It
No.
it's almost it's slinging arrows at slickheads, dude. It's almost time to go. I'm like, and what's funny is this weekend is one of those weekends where it's going to be super hot, and at the end of the weekend it's going to break, and you start looking at the weather, that change is right there. I mean, it's fallen right into place, and it's super nice.
Dude, we're like right in the middle of bitching about heat waves to dreaming about cold fronts.
Cold fronts, that's right. I can't wait. I I I'm counting down the days, to be honest with you. I know I'm not ready for it, but I am ready for it, for the simple fact that like I'm just ready to be in a tree stand. And it's going to go by so fast. It always does. It always goes by so darn fast. Like you just wait for it. But the hunt stock is at the right time, because you're like getting out of that slump, and then you're like, "Oh, now it's time to talk about deer." And then what happens when you came home from hunt stock, Steve? All you have on the mind is whitetails, right? So you're
Yeah.
just like you're like, it's time. It's time.
I mean, typically I always have whitetail on my mind.
Hmm.
This year I kind of just like, I wouldn't say I didn't think about it, but I just thought about other things.
Yeah.
But like right now, it's like the time where like there's really nothing else to think about but deer coming in. Except I had that one little week there on the calendar was that big moose hunt the last week of September. Um, which hey, I can't wait, dude. It's gonna be freaking awesome. But it's crazy that it's literally like, I don't know, 10 days into deer season and I'm heading to Canada for moose.
Which is super cool.
Ah, dude, like yeah, once in a lifetime for me, right? Like
Maybe
gonna
not.
be epic.
Maybe not. And maybe that one hunt might be once in a lifetime, but you might do it again. Who
That'd
knows?
be
You might
great,
book.
dude. Maybe I'll draw one of these times.
I think that's the hardest part, is drawing. But
Yeah, 100%. Especially up there because you don't get there's no preference points, or you don't your odds don't increase every year that you put in for it. You're
no,
back to square one every time.
one thing I did learn at Huntstock, so hunting me, or hunting Maine, I guess you would call it.
You're definitely on the spectrum, 100%.
Yeah. Their number one video was about moose hunting. And one of the things that I definitely learned from it was non-resident was only 349 tags, which I thought was crazy. But it's over 2,000, I believe. I don't know if my numbers are right. Over 2,000 are um are
I thought it was
non.
like 3,500.
Is it 2,500? It very
35.
well could be 2,500 are non-resident, or are resident.
Yeah.
Um, which is just crazy to me, dude. Like I'm just blown away that it's that many of them. But
Yeah. Yeah, but Maine, you get preference points.
correct.
As you every year you put in for it, your chances eventually you get a better chance after 20 years. Your chances of drawing are supposed to be better than the first year.
Yeah, but there is some guys
Yeah,
that it's
but
super raw.
I'm talking Canada, not
Canada.
Maine. So Canada, you get nothing. They don't care how many times you've put in for it. It's a new pot every year. So the only way your chances go up is less people apply.
Oh, it just is what it is.
It
Is
is
it
what it
one
is.
lifetime?
I don't think so. I want to say if you draw, you're out of it for a couple of years or something. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
so
To be honest with you.
Maine's like that too. You have to wait like 3 or 5 years,
Yeah.
whatever, to get it back in
I
there.
don't know. All I know is I can't freaking wait, dude. Like that's another one that's sneaking up on me. Like because I don't have a tag, I'm not really like as vested as like like my dad. But like we've got me, dad, and Brian got a group chat going, so like we're texting about it every day. But like, yeah, that's another one where it's like when I'm like, oh shit, like like I'm looking right now, it's like oh shit, deer season's in like a month. Oh wow, yeah. Well, in 5 weeks. I'm going to Canada for a moose hunt. Like, holy shit, that's coming fast.
Yeah, that is wild. I can't wait to hear all about it. It's gonna be nuts, and that you're gonna film the whole entire thing, which is gonna be sick as shit.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so
it's gonna be awesome.
definitely cool. Speaking of cool stories, let's get Jake Hart on here. Real
Dude,
before. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I didn't want to say it on the podcast because I didn't want to scare Jake,
Oh,
but I'm wondering what old buddy Colin has to say about this story.
this is true.
You know what
It
I'm
might.
saying?
Oh, it might be one of those, huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think the old Squatch got a hold of his deer.
Yeah, it's a little bit too big for a hide behind or
I think it threw it off the cliff. But anyways, he thinks it was a bear. We'll go with that story. But between me and you, I think it was a Squatch.
Is that, what is the population in that relative area? Like, is there a
Dude,
lot?
it's right there in that corridor.
It's in that corridor,
Yeah.
huh? Huh.
Yep.
He got yetied.
Yeah, he got squatched.
He got
But
he got squatched the shit out of.
yeah. But I'm not gonna tell him. He can figure it out.
He can figure it out on his own.
Anyways, you want to do some sponsors and get Jake on?
Yeah, I definitely want to do some sponsor. I was just thinking about it, man. It all clicked in my mind, and I just either that or it was a tribe of puck wedgies, or even the dog man. I mean, that's
Possible.
Yeah.
I'm going with Squatch though.
Maybe Squatch it is. Well, guys, don't refuse to follow. Go and check out Bowtech. Shoot yourself a Bowtech, one of the smoothest shooting bows on the market. They are one of the best bows that there is. Tons of them out there. Make sure to shoot them. It's getting into season for all of you late naysayers. Go down to your local bow shop and shoot a Bowtech. latitudeoutdoors.com. Big things coming from them, guys. If you guys haven't gone over to latitudeoutdoors.com and signed up for their newsletter, you guys are missing out 100% because there's a ton of really cool things coming out. They just came out with a new pouch. They came out with the new
Careful.
profile. What is the profile?
Ew.
What is it?
The profile pocket?
Well, the
pouch?
profile pocket, yeah, and then the profile 2,
The XL.
the XL. And then there's the Method 3. And then there's some talk about a possible bigger backpack. So you guys want to get on over there, make sure to sign up for the newsletters because if you're not, you will miss out. Actually right now the Latitude Method 3 is sold out, but should be back back pretty soon here, from what I've heard. So you guys don't want to miss out on that. Working Class Bowhunter, WCB, the guys at Working Class Bowhunter Podcast, they just came out with the Unhinged series. They actually just released their first deer hunt, Kentucky.
What a perfect name for them boys.
Unhinged, yeah, huh?
They're unhinged.
They are unhinged.
Awesome.
So make sure to go and check it out. If you guys are getting pumped up about some different stuff, their Unhinged series is off the chains. The guys are doing real good over there. And then if you guys want to grab some merch in there, make sure to use the promo code Outdoor Drive. Huntworth, get more for less with Huntworth. If you guys are looking for some early season hunting gear, you guys can head on over to Huntworth. There is some new stuff with those guys. And then Fourth Arrow camera arms. Looking to film, you want a camera arm. Or even if you're gonna do like second angle, there's some cool second angle stuff that they have on their website at Fourth Arrow Camera Arms. Saddies, fatties for you guys that are ammunition guys or want to shoot TSS or shoot coyotes in the face, ducks, whatever the case may be. Sasquatch. If you're looking to Sasquatch hunt, well, they don't like gunpowder, so you might have double.
Number two.
Number 2s? You think you could take down a Squatch with a number 2?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Number 2 saddies, just
Yeah.
a couple. Just let them fire in. And then, as always, make sure to go check out our boy from Bowminded. But we will get him on. And until next week, we appreciate all of you guys. And we'll see you guys on the next drive.
Smoke this
Drive podcast.
Don't touch anything.
I'm not touching anything. Jeez,
Don't play with yourself.
Oh, okay, hold on.
You can think about it,
We
but
thought Jake
don't
was
do
gonna be the problem. I guess I'm the problem. I'm not even gonna touch my desk here. All right, guys, back with Jake Hart from Bowminded. Jake, how we doing, buddy?
Doing great, man.
It's like
Long
long.
time no see.
It's great,
Yeah,
man.
like
What?
like what, 3 or 4 days ago?
Yeah, it hasn't
Hell yeah.
been all that long ago.
No.
Jeez, you made it home safely. I see.
Yeah. Yeah,
You didn't
that we
get
did.
stuck down the tube of OnlyFans or feet only or anything like that in your off time, so that's good.
Hey man, what I do on my drives, and we don't talk about it. Whatever gets me through and gets me home.
It all depends on the sales for the weekend. If he does all right for the weekend, it keeps him afloat for another week. He doesn't have to resort back to.
Couple extra subscriptions and
That's awesome. Why don't we turn this thing right into four-wheel drive? Jake, tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and a little about what you do.
All right. So my name is Jake Hart, and I own a company called Bowminded. Basically, just came up with a logo when I was in college. Sat on it for a bit. Finally got started with it a few years later when I had finally saved up enough money to go to my first show. Just obsessed with bow hunting, and yeah, like I was saying, went to our first show and did fantastic. Booked another one, and just spent 3 years straight of just traveling the country and getting the brand out there.
How many shows a year do you usually do? I was thinking about that today.
So we have, I say it just sounds better than me, but I've been first year I think I did like 12 or 13. Past 2 years, I'm probably gonna end the year north of 20, like in total events.
Mm.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a dedication, and it's in a short period of time too. Like that doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, if I was any good with social media, we'd probably be a little bit further than where we are now. And that's the part I lack on, and we're working on at the moment. But yeah, I mean, I bought the truck I'm sitting in right now. I bought this last February with 62,000 miles on it, something like that. We're up to 130,000 already, and
Wow.
just not even a full 2 years, just traveling around.
It's a tax write-off, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
The business expense.
Now, you said you designed the logo in your college days.
Yep.
Was this before, after, during the TikTok days?
Yeah. Oh boy, we're getting into that. See, most of those TikToks have been deleted. We're not gonna. I don't want to reference that too much. That's a low part of my life.
Where
I guess
did
you
the
could say.
logo come in? Was it like after? Like, did you move on from the TikTok days and then then the Bowminded came along, or?
I want to say the logo was designed before.
Oh, okay,
I don't know about the actual business standpoint, but the logo was designed before.
gotcha.
Yeah.
What was the how did you come up with the logo? Like where did it come from?
Yeah, that's a great question, honestly. My brain is always moving in 100 different directions, and I mean, I grew up going to these expos, and that was my main goal. So growing up, I always used to like New York State Sportsman's Expo right in my backyard. Used to go every year, and even as a young kid, I was thinking, how can I get a booth at this place? And then progressively, as I'm getting older, it was how can I turn my life into actually doing this for a living. Um, and so one day it was just kind of it popped up into my head of, having the deer antlers form into a bow. Went through a couple different ways of doing it, finally landed on one and just kind of doodled it out, and here we are.
That's kind of crazy, and especially someone, at a young age just kind of like has like this dream and ambition and then turns it into this monstrosity of an apparel company because I mean every time you walk by your booth there's at least 10 people in it and everybody at any event that you go to is wearing Bowminded. And there's been times that we've been at other events and be like, "Oh, dude," and we'll like Snapchat you a picture be like, "Hey, Jake,
Yep.
look what we found," like and it's
Yeah. Last year at Mohegan Sun, you guys did that to me a few times because
Hmm.
I know you guys are trying to get me out there every year, and it's tough because one of our biggest shows of the year is in Wisconsin that exact weekend, which it's hard to go away from something where you have a good following and you do so well. But yeah, even this past weekend in Huntstock, man, I mean, the amount of just hats and T-shirts and stuff that we saw walking around of And I always got to ask, what show did you get that at, or where did you see me
Yeah.
before? And it's the best feeling in the world, to see people doing that.
Yeah, I really like asking people when I see your stuff on the street. I always ask them like, "Where'd you get that from?" And you never know what they're going to say, what show they attended and saw you. But the other good thing that you got going for you, being apparel, and like we were talking off air, like styles and trends are always changing, and you do a good job keeping up with it. So it's not one of those things where like, oh, I already have a Bowminded hat. Like there's
Yeah.
always a new one or a new color or a new design where you always want to like get another one and add to the collection and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the pros and cons of being a small business, I guess you could say. Is I mean, I do really like carrying the Richardson 112s, but the problem with those is the second that they release, at least from like the wholesalers that I go through, I mean, the big companies buy a couple thousand at a time of each color, and it's hard to keep up with that. So you never know, like when I need to restock and go into the next show, or I sell out of one style at one show, and I go to reorder of what's available, and I just kind of roll with whatever I can get, and it just seems to always be doing pretty decent for me. So
That's great.
Yeah. I, I I never thought of that before. Like to me, like a Richardson 112 is like the standard, right? Like if we do outdoor drive hats, they're neat, they're clean, they're good quality. If we're gonna do outdoor drive hats, we're gonna do Richardson 112s. But like when I go to your booth, I'm not looking for a Richardson 112. Like you do different shit. You know what I mean? Like different than your standard run of the mill.
yeah, I mean, I know I'm always browsing around too, going around, whether it's social media or just websites, and just kind of trying to find that next camo that and most of it is what looks good to me. But like we were talking about earlier, being a little bit younger, most of what applies to me and what I like is gonna resonate with my customers and what they like as
Yeah.
well. So that there's definitely a positive in that. So, but I'm always trying to be different. I mean, I go to these shows with, I mean, some of these bigger shows. I'm one of 10 to 15, maybe even sometimes the bigger shows, 20 different clothing brands there. So what can I do besides the actual brand itself and the logo itself to set myself apart from other people? And I mean, I've seen it too, where you do really well at one show with a certain style or whatever, and you see some of these other guys that run companies, they're walking over and trying to see what it is, and they're checking stuff out. And next thing you know, at the next show, they got it. But I've always prided myself in trying not to follow what other people are doing. I try to stay ahead of that curve and
Mm.
try to find that next new thing before somebody else does, and just kind of go that way.
Now,
I think that's the key right there, right? Like it's a style, and
Yep.
style changes quickly.
Yep.
And if you're not quick, like I think you're quick. Like I think you stay with it and stay ahead of it, and you're like ready for it. And if you're not, by the time you get like say like a competitor or something, by the time they scoop your booth, order some stuff, show up to the next show, it might not even be cool anymore. Like
Yep.
you're already on to the next trend.
the
Yep.
trendsetter.
Exactly. I try to be. I try to be.
There's nothing wrong with that though. I'd rather we say make the reports, not follow the reports. No, it's not.
Exactly.
But
See,
So
my problem is personally, this isn't for everybody else. I'm a little bit older. So sometimes I go to your booth and I'm like, man, that looks really cool, but I would look stupid in it. Like I'm way too old to be wearing that color.
like
yeah.
the 6 panel, those 6 panel hats. Is that what they're called, Jake? The 6 panel hats, 9 panel hats.
I think I know what you're referring to. Those are 7 panels.
The
7.
flat front.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is not my style. Like
Oh,
I'm
dude,
old school,
Uh,
112.
you will
I,
never see me wearing one of those, but they sell like hotcakes. So
they are
whatever,
cool.
whatever is kind of moving, I go with that. So I try to have a little bit for everybody. I try to go from your basically what they call them dad hats, your very relaxed fit like the Legacies, to all the way up to, I mean, this past show I had a bunch of ponytail hats. So I sold out of those, which they hardly ever move. But just try to have like we were saying, just a little bit of variety, a little bit for everybody.
The ponytail hats, those are the big thing on social media, and they're hard to find
Yeah.
too.
Man, for your man buns.
Yeah. Well, it's getting to that time. And being in Massachusetts, there's a lot of man buns in Massachusetts, so you brought them to the right place, Jake.
You know what's funny that I did notice this weekend at Huntstock? You know how the vintage, like I guess I think they call it like a duck camo, like the vintage camo is like super trendy right now.
Yep.
I call it vintage. But do you notice everybody that wears it isn't vintage?
It's
Like,
it's just like everything in life, man. I mean, different styles go through different phases, and right now we're in that kind of old school phase. Like, I fully agree with you that those are old school colorways, but I've been carrying those for 2 years now. And, I
It's
mean,
it's
kind of what
retro.
yeah,
It's completely it's called retro. But there's some booths even in like at NWTF that they have like all the old Realtree, all the stuff that we would get on the Walmart shelf, and they go and they
Yep.
sell it. Like there's like reclaimed like old, like the reclaimed barn board. It's the same for Mossy Oak and all the old school stuff. So like that's the upcoming trend, and they pay big dollars for that stuff, dude.
Yep,
Like
they do.
huge.
Well, actually, the T-shirt I was wearing earlier was from a buddy of mine from down here in this area, and that's what he does. He goes to estate sales, garage sales. I mean, any kind of Goodwill or Salvation Army, anything like that, and that's what he does. Is he buys the old school camo and then kind of resells it, and
Really?
that is his side gig. Yeah. Yep.
That's so nuts, dude. I mean, like the other thing that they do a ton of is like old school. I met a dude that he actually he installs tile for me, and he actually goes around and gets like old school vintage like overalls and stuff like that, like old school farm attire that old school farmers would have like in the early 1900s, and he sells that stuff in big dollars for it. Like blows
Yep.
my mind, like how much, like Carhartt and all that stuff. There you go. Yeah, the old
that's
school
vintage right there, baby.
you
Muzzy bed to the bone, baby.
that thing's probably worth $250
I'm thinking of
on the camo market.
auctioning it out.
We could.
How
If I
old is that?
look,
Is that a newer one or is that a like old one?
dude, hell no, dude. This thing's probably older than you.
Yeah,
Get them.
probably.
That's vintage,
Mike
baby.
Jordan used to wear that.
Yep.
Bill
Oh,
Jordan.
this is Stan Potts, bud.
Oh, Stan Potts. That's who it was. Stan Potts. I knew it was one of them. That's super
Yeah.
great.
This is back made in USA, baby.
Yeah.
One of those hats you should get. You should get the old school like orange hats, or one of those old school like foam front ones, like we did. We did
Oh,
those foam front ones.
Yeah.
That could be.
I tried those. They are for some reason they weren't a real hot seller for me, but
No.
I feel like
maybe I didn't have the right colorways and the right styles. I don't know, but
yeah,
it was a foam and it had a rope across the front too.
Yeah.
we tried the foam front trucker hats too. Ours were like red bill, white top, and they kind of look like Pokemon hats. To be honest with you.
I have one. You guys gave me one.
Yeah.
I got one.
Yeah,
Oh,
I feel like that trend was like short lived. Like they were trending, and it was in and out fast.
Yeah. I can agree with that. Yeah.
that's a tough trend.
Yeah.
So So Jake, one of the main reasons we had you on is because you had a pretty cool story of a buck and something wild happened, dude. And I'm still blown away. I remember you telling me the story, but I think that it needs to be shared with everybody. Like, do you want to dive into it and kind of tell us about what ended up happening?
So we have a farm here in PA where we don't we see a couple bucks over the summer, but all of a sudden the rut hits and it's like they pop out of the woodwork. And I hadn't really seen a buck all summer that I was really excited about. Finally, I would say second or third week in October, right when that pre-rut hits, he showed up on our farm. And it was kind of right away. This is the deer that I'm going to go after. I hunted him for I want to say 2-ish weeks, something like that. I got within 60 yards of him multiple times, just never really closed the deal. Finally, I believe I ended up shooting him on October 30th. It was a morning hunt. I mean, still as hell. Um, Saw him coming from a mile away, got ready, made what I thought was a good shot until I went back and looked at the footage, and I had realized that I hit him just a touch back further than I would like. I knew it was a kill shot, but didn't know for sure exactly, if this was within 30 seconds if this deer was dead already or if he was going to take a couple hours to expire. So I hit up a bunch of my buddies. I mean, from out in Illinois to wherever, and I just sent like I probably sent a dozen people the video of, hey, what do you guys think? Like, what do you think about the shot? And I got mixed reviews from that deer's dead right now. You should go get him to, that might be liver and one lung, so you maybe should give him some time. So we had all day, so I elected to give him some time. Ended up backing out of the woods, and the second I got back to the house, my grandfather, who's kind of in that state where um, just mentally and physically, if he says something's wrong and he's not feeling good, you don't really mess around. You just you get him to the hospital and you kind of deal with it there because we're like 40 minutes from a hospital here. So we had to deal with all that. I kind of hung out and was like, you know what, we got to give this deer time anyways. So good news is everything checked out well with him. I got back in around like 4 hours later. Um, right away, amazing blood trail. Got on this deer. Ended up dying like 20 yards past where I couldn't see anymore. Like I couldn't believe I didn't watch the deer drop. Um, and we found where his basically deathbed was, where it was full of blood, full of hair. There's a little bit of guts there, and we're like, kind of like, what the hell happened? But kind of a big part of the story is I'm hunting right on the edge of a river where I'm up on top of basically the mountain, and there is a 300-foot straight drop down to the river. I mean, like you can't walk it, you can't do it. It is straight down, just a rock wall. And his deathbed was right on the edge of that. And we kind of looked around like, what the hell happened here? And all of a sudden, we all kind of at the same time, me and my uncle and another friend of mine, were looking at it, and it almost looked like a little kid took a sled down over the edge because there's just a little bit of curve and then it dropped straight off. And we're like, what the hell? So we're thinking maybe he died there and just fell over or whatever. I kind of eased my way down there and I grabbed onto a tree and I kind of looked over the edge and I thought I saw something. So I pulled out my Nox, and sure enough, 300 feet straight down, I just see a white belly mangled around a tree. I was like, oh my God, he fell over the edge. And I mean, a million things go through your mind of, like what happened here? Is his antlers busted up? Is anything going to be good? So we ended up going, we had to walk down to the next property over and kind of walk this ledge that was at an angle down that deer use that, I mean, people shouldn't use. I mean, it was so steep where I'm shitting my pants the whole time, where I make one wrong step, I'm going to be dead at the bottom of this mountain. Realistically, we probably should have went back and, grabbed some ropes and been smart about it. But, we kept on trudging on. And I mean, we probably got down there maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours later, finally got down to him. And then at that point, we realized what had happened is a bear had found him, because we do have a lot of black bear around here. Um, and he was pretty much from my entry point on, the rest of the body was pretty much gone. Bear went in through the guts, ate all the guts. The one hind quarter was literally down to just straight, I mean, it was white, crystal clear white bone from the knee all the way up to the hip. It just blew me away. I mean, the way we found him was he was covered in leaves too. So, I mean, your mind goes, is this a bear? Is this a coyote? Whatever. But knowing kind of what we know about bears and what coyotes do when they find them too, like the ass wasn't eaten out, which most of the time coyotes go straight for that. And the fact that just how he was eaten out and covered in leaves, which bear do, they when they find a meal like that, they'll cover it in leaves to try to hide it, I guess. And then they'll end up coming back later. But good news was antlers were not busted up at all. Meat was pretty much toast for the most part after one, a bear got to it, and two, dropping 300 feet straight down. It was, I mean, he was mangled. His spine was snapped in half. He was like kind of all curled. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. So, but good news is they kind of worked their way back from the entry hole. So we ended up caping him out, and he's off at the taxidermist right now still. But just I mean, one of the cooler stories that I ever had.
So
Definitely blew my mind.
I have so many questions on
Me
this.
too.
So like,
Yeah, me
like,
too. Me
bro,
too.
he like blew through this, and I'm like, hold on, time out, one
Yeah.
second. So first off, I'm gonna take it back to hunting. Did did
Yeah.
this did this deer show up like in a couple of times where you knew that he was in the area, or he just fully disappeared and then you were just out on a song and a prayer, or how did that all occur?
No, he was here. I mean, I think I want to say, I don't know if it was the night before or 2 nights before. I'd got done with my hunt, and I went back. I think we were at the local bar or something, just getting a few drinks and dinner. and my phone buzzed, and we ended up getting a picture of him probably like 80 yards from where I was sitting that night, coming out into the field. So we for sure knew he was there, and that was the deer I was hunting that morning.
Okay.
What
Okay.
was it? What was the date? Or like early October, November?
I believe it was October 30th. I think it was the
Okay.
day before Halloween.
Okay.
Yep.
And have you ever heard of anybody else talking about a bear eating a deer? Because I mean, I don't think that I have. Steve, have you? I don't. I've never heard of anyone. Not a confirmed bear, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean it was. I mean, I've heard so many stories about coyotes. I've even heard stories about bobcats. I
right?
have personally never heard about a bear, but that was, I mean,
No.
I mean, I cannot say for 1000% certain that it was a bear, but I mean, out of the 10 signs that we saw, they were all pointing at bear and away from anything else. So, I mean, that is, and we do have bear in the area, like right there where that drop off is. There's caves all over there and those rocks and stuff. So, I mean, on mine, like my mind and everybody that I explain the story to, it is 100% a bear. But yeah, I mean, it's that was the first time I've really heard it.
How, yeah. I thought cat too. Cats will cover they'll cash out and cover with leaves too.
Yep,
But for the volume, like the amount that was eaten,
yep.
I don't know that a bobcat would do that.
It,
Well, and it's not only that too. Is I mean, coyotes for the most part, at least what I've seen and what I've heard, is they don't really drag too much off until you get down to really bones where they really can. I mean, this thing was when we found its deathbed, it was on a flat surface and it was flat for another 5 feet before it straight off dropped. So I mean, something big. I mean, unless you got 10 coyotes there really pulling on it. I mean, it's it's pretty unbelievable. And he definitely died there because there was blood, hair, guts all over the place right there. And then the only other thing going through our head was, well, maybe coyotes found him and he wasn't quite fully dead yet, and he tried to get up and stumble over. But just the way that he was eaten,
Mm.
in that short amount of time was, I mean, there was no doubt in our mind that it was a bear. Yeah,
But you said you saw where it was like it looked like a sled was drugged.
yeah, exactly. I
So
mean,
that was
that's the other part too.
yeah.
Yeah, yep.
and
So do you think they were like you said like down in that ledge there's like crevices and caves and stuff? Do you think maybe they were trying to drag them down like into another spot and just lost them and he just went for a ride?
I mean, that's my guess. I mean, right, probably about 15 yards uphill a little bit from where we were at. There was a rock ledge there with almost like a cave in it. Which, I mean, the entire time that we were caping them out and trying to figure out the situation, again, I'm standing like my feet are a foot away from each other, and one's at my knee and one's pinned against a tree way below me, like flat. I mean, this is the kind of surface we were on,
mm,
and I'm scared shitless because if this bear happens to pop out of these rocks right here, what the hell am I gonna do? I mean, only thing I can do is just tuck and roll and pray for the best. But
well, it's not even that. But if you think about it, I mean, a good sized buck is, I mean, full of guts and everything, is pretty darn heavy. I mean, you're looking
yep,
north of 200 pounds, anyways, right? I
yep.
mean, on a good sized mature buck. So
Oh, and he was a good deer too. Yep,
and I mean for a coyote, I mean that's a lot of movement for a coyote to be able to move something like that. And I
Hmm.
just like that's just it's just crazy to me. Like for it
One
to
yeah. If it's one coyote, that's a tough move.
yep.
yeah.
If it's multiple coyotes, you got to think they're like all pulling in different directions, right?
Hmm?
Like they're not all going to get on one side and pull it.
And every coyote, like I've had a few deer that have gotten eaten by coyotes around here. I've heard multiple stories. Coyotes always start off at the ass. That's what they do. I mean, they go in for the dude. The ass was not touched. I mean, besides like the hindquarters being eaten out, but like it was just like I said, everything about it was pointing fully away from coyotes and to a bear. From all the stories that I've heard, I talked to a lot of people about it, trying to wrap my brain around it of what the hell happened here. And I mean, it's all pointing at bear. And I have a trail camera back there in the same exact spot that I shot him. I have my trail cameras up this year, and I mean, it's like every other day we're getting bear back there. So that just kind of reaffirms to me that this was definitely a bear that did this.
And we're not questioning the fact that it is, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just kind of diving into it and kind of breaking it apart to like that is the case of what it is. I mean, it just
Yep.
you don't really hear about it or it's not really a worry of you, but and it's kind of funny especially here. I mean, I know that New York where you're at, you know, or PA, like they've had a pretty good population of bears and like we are starting to grow our bear population and the
Yep.
bears that we have here are giants. So like it just I don't know. That's a scary thing. Like, could you imagine too? Think about this. Like dragging that thing out, and now you have that sense. And you know, we kind of worry about coyotes dragging out. Now you have to worry about bears too dragging out. Like, I mean, I feel as if like you know, you almost think that like you're in Montana and worrying about brown bears.
Yeah, I mean, and even multiple times this year. I'm like I was saying, like we have probably a dozen cameras out here. Almost every camera within the past month has picked up at least a bear or two.
Hmm.
The a camera probably about I want to say about 100 yards from there. Actually, I just went back and fixed yesterday because a bear ripped it off the tree again. Actually, we were at hunt stock and I'm sitting there and all of a sudden it's you see a bear ear and then all of a sudden the camera's just face down on the ground. I mean, we've had cameras ripped off the trees left and right here from bears. You try to put them up. You know, I even bring a stick with me on a lot of my cameras back there. And I'd climb one stick and I still put it up as high as I can. So this camera is a good, 8-10 feet in the air, and the bear are still getting to them. And it's pretty wild. And actually, that same funny story, that same exact camera that I just had to go fix yesterday, about a month ago, I got done setting the camera up, and within 30 minutes, I got a bear on the camera, like
Wow.
walking by. So now, even like going to check trail cameras, I'm like, I got to keep my eyes on a swivel here.
What part of PA are you in? Like northeast, southwest,
We're northeast.
northeast? Okay.
Yeah, we're not far. Like we're 45 minutes from the New York border here.
Jeez. And bears have obviously been a problem from the start.
Um, I want to say bear. Like when I first started hunting here, it was kind of rare to see a bear. I would say in the last 2 or 3 years, it has picked up drastically. And I remember I had one camera that I still have not found that a bear just blatantly took right off the tree, and I don't know where the hell it went to.
In that
Luckily, the
cave.
past couple they've just ripped down and they just sit there on the at the base right at the tree. But
Do you,
Check that cave, dude. That's where that camera is.
yeah.
yeah,
You go in that cave. There's like 20,
um,
20
I'm, I'm
cameras, like a big pile of cameras in there.
yeah, I'm all set. I'm not going in there.
um, do
Do
you PA? Do you get a bear tag with? Is it a big game license? Like, do you get a bear tag with your deer tag? Is there a bear? Like, how's your bear hunting work?
You got to buy an extra tag for it.
Is it? But does it overlap with deer season?
It does. You know the funniest part about that story too is it was literally during bear archery season, and I had a tag sitting in my pocket. So the things run through your brain of if I just sat there, would I have seen this bear? What would have happened? But I mean, we can all look back on it and say we did different things. But yeah,
do you do
Well,
you
but here's the thing, though. He would have had a hard. All right, I'm assuming the bear got the deer at the top of the cliff. Was whatever was messing with him. He lost him over the cliff. It probably would have taken him quite some time to get back down to where the deer is now at the bottom, if at all. He might just be like, "Screw that thing. I'll go find something else to eat." Right?
yeah. I mean, from what I can take out of what I saw sitting there, I think he purposely took the deer over the edge. I think they were trying to get the bear was trying to get the deer to wherever they're living and was trying to get it closer. That's what I took out of the situation, but I also could be wrong. But that would have been my best guess is he found it and said, "I'm taking this," and just kind of maybe. And I'm still thinking about it too. I mean, this is literally. I have a video on my phone of me looking over the edge with like holding on to this tree. And I'm just thinking, like, I don't know if he threw it off and just kind of walked around or if he went down with it. Like, there's so many things that go through my head, too, of like, I just, questions that I have of what the hell happened here.
Dude, imagine if he didn't drag it over the cliff and you're on the track job and you run into the bear eating your deer
Yeah,
at
hopefully he's
like
more scared of me than I am of him. I
20
mean,
yards, and he's like, "Yeah, you're
I'd
gonna have
probably
to,
shit my pants.
you're gonna have to fight. How bad you want this buck, boy? You're gonna have to fight me for it."
Yeah, that was funny because I put on my social media a video that I used to watch in high school, some old salmon commercial, like canned
Yeah.
salmon or something like that.
Is it
And
Shake the Bear?
it's like a Chuck Norris video of him fighting a bear, and
Yeah.
I put on there. I was like, scroll to the last, the last scene to see me versus the bear, and it was pretty funny. Everybody got a kick out of it.
Do you think that those bears like affect the deer and the deer movement? Like you see
Um,
less deer now that there's more bears?
Personally, no. I mean, we still see the same amount of deer, but I have been in a tree before when a deer comes, or a bear, sorry, comes out into the field. I mean, it's just like a coyote coming out. It's probably a little bit more than a coyote because deer will, at least from what I've seen and experienced, like we have a lot of coyotes around here too. So when I've seen a coyote come out into the field, the deer get very wary of it and they stay away, but they don't necessarily bolt.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I've seen a bear walk into the field, they completely bolt. But other than that, like having the actually see that happen. We still see deer all over the place here, so I wouldn't say that it really affects them that much. Of just get the fuck out and come back at a later time, I guess.
I've had just friends complain about like they've had a ton of deer, like say preseason mineral sites or baiting or whatever, and then the bears come in and then literally it'll be like a week and a half before they get a deer back on camera, or they won't because the bears are sticking around or whatever the case may be.
That is one thing that luckily we have not seen here. Um, I really haven't like I said. I mean, I've hunted that same backfield for years now, and I've seen bear come out, and the next morning I'm there, and there's deer all over the place. So, um, they might just be used to them at this point and just know to stay away. But I really don't see it affect the actual deer population in the area or on our property at all.
I think the thing with that, Trev, is I hate to say it, but the key thing is the corn pile,
Yeah.
right? So if you got a corn pile and a camera on it, everything's coming to the corn. So when the bear comes in, he's like dominates it and kind of keeps everything off of it.
Yep,
Very
I think
right.
you're right with that.
If you remove the corn pile and it's just a hay field or an oak flat and you have like, you're not honed down to this pile of bait, they can kind of coexist more. They're just not coexisting in front of the camera.
I fully agree with that. Yep.
No,
That's my
I do agree with it. I mean, it's like a mature bear on a bait site, right? Like it's the same
or
thing.
or a mature doe.
Right, right.
Mature doe on a corn pile will keep a lot of, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
but you are right too, Jake. That I know we're talking bears, but like the whole coyote thing's funny, right? Because everybody thinks like they see a coyote during their deer hunt. They're like, my hunt's over. It's ruined. I saw a coyote. I ain't gonna see shit now today because I just saw a coyote. But how many times have you been sitting on a hayfield and you'll see a coyote in the field with deer, and sometimes they just pick their head up and they look. If they're not too close, the deer are like, dude, like you're not gonna mess with me.
They're used to them. They live with them. Yep.
People think every time a deer sees a coyote or a coyote sees a deer, like it's a bloodbath, and like it's just not the case.
I have only like actual like nighttime predator hunted a few times. I've only shot one or two coyotes doing that. I have shot 5 coyotes with my bow sitting in a deer stand, and I think every single time after I've shot that coyote, I still see deer.
Yeah,
That's nuts.
yeah.
I mean, it's true though. I mean,
Yep.
they live with them every single day. It's the same as like the guys that talk about, oh, when I kill a deer, I can't hunt that stand for a month because there's a gut pile near it or whatever the case may be. But those deer deal with death every single day of their life. They don't care about a gut pile. Like that's not an effective thing for them.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm very blessed in the area that I hunt in, and we have deer all over the place, and kind of like you're saying, I mean, it's just they're used to coexisting with all these predators, and like you were saying too, death is just a part of it. So, I've really never, I mean, I've had times not like personally, but I know of like some of the family friends that come and hunting and stuff, and well, they'll kill something, and I mean, there's a gut pile sitting on the edge of the field and you still see a dozen deer that night within, I mean, they're not walking over to it and checking it out, but they're still in the field. They just don't give a shit. It's all a part of
It's
it,
the circle of life. It's the circle.
Yep.
We've talked about it before, dude. It's all mental, right? Like,
Yep.
especially if you're targeting like a big mature buck, you got your like, your hit lister, number one buck you're after. Yeah, you probably don't think your odds are in your favor, sitting over a gut pile where someone killed the night before mentally, but like it doesn't affect your odds at all.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also a firm believer in like, I mean, deer know for the most part, like when you go hunt a spot, deer know that you're there. I mean,
Yeah.
like they figure it out between the walk in. I mean, maybe they don't figure it out while you're there, but if you keep hunting the same spot over and over again, deer know you're there.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you're chasing a mature buck, don't go sit at the same stand every night. It's not going to
Right.
happen. I mean, there are spots here where I don't even touch until late October, early November, because I know those are my rut spots. Those are where deer are moving, and I know I can kill there later in season. So I just know to stay out of there. Don't stink it up with your scent. Don't make them know that you are hunting them. Hunt other pieces, and then if you're not lucky there, and you come back during that time of year, and you can go after it for a good week or two there.
100%.
I wouldn't say a week or two. That might be a little long, but
Yeah.
couple days is better.
I learned to not worry about gut piles at a really young age. And I honestly, now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever told this story on the podcast. But opening day, I was young enough where I was still sitting with my dad. So me and my dad are sitting in a tree stand together. My grandpa's several hundred yards away in another tree stand. And my grandpa shot a doe opening day. So we dealt with that. We got it right there by the tree stand. So that night, my dad's like, I'm going to throw you up in grandpa's stand. And I had, Trev, the gun I had that night was my now turkey gun, the old 20 gauge youth, right? No scope, open sights, but double bead. And I had shot it at like, I don't know, probably 50 yards open sight. And I was like, I was all right. I could kill with it. Dad throws me on the stand. I ended up falling asleep that night. Like I'm just beat, right? It's a big day. It's opening day. Like I've been up all day. I doze off in the tree stand and I wake up at like, it's like, this is back when we could hunt half hour after. So it's probably right around sunset, like they getting that gray light. And here comes this freaking 8-pointer right at me, dude, like walking right to the gut pile. And I just fucking sent one at like probably like 80 yards, like way out of range of what that gun was capable of. Didn't even come close to hitting the deer. My dad was like, had 0% chance that I was shooting that night. So now he's freaking out. Like after he hears my gunshot, he comes down, no blood, missed the deer, whatever. But moral of the story was I was sitting over a gut pile from that morning and that big buck showed up that night.
And the best way to fix that, if you truly believe that the gut pile affects it, take your deer elsewhere and gut it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, too, like the way that I think about it too, like it could even work for does too. But the way that I look at it more on a buck standpoint is, say you're hunting with a few buddies and it's a good stand, right? And he kills a mature buck there, and you're sitting and that deer's dead there. You're gutting it out. Your scent is getting there a little bit, but all of that scent from that mature buck is sitting there. And that is also kind of what it even overpowers a gut smell sometimes. Like, I don't know if you've ever got some of their glands on you. That stuff stinks. Like, and you are sitting there doing whatever you got to do with that deer to take care of it, and that you're getting that gland, juice or oil or whatever you want to call it, that smell all over the place. Like that's also something that attracts deer. So I mean, you can look at it from both sides, but I've never had a problem with it. So.
Yeah.
Or even you can even look at that like a doe too. You shoot a doe like at some point like close to the rut or whatever, and she's got estrus in her, and you're sitting there gutting her out or whatever. Like that stuff, that's a natural deer smell that can draw deer in. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I've been known to leave a nutsack hanging from a tree here or there.
Yeah.
Well, how many times have you heard stories? I mean, there's probably 100 of them out there. I've had it happen where you're there gutting a deer, like a buck or whatever, and there's another buck that's coming in, like because it smells those tarsal glands or whatever, and
Yep.
he wants to know what's going on. I mean, and
Yep.
guys shoot other deer like that. Like it's a normal thing.
Yeah.
Tying right onto that, how many stories have you heard where you shoot a buck and another buck comes along and tries fighting that dead deer on the ground?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially back in the days before trail cameras and no one knew what was actually out there.
Yep.
They shoot the big buck that they think was like the biggest buck in the woods, and the next day it's like, oh, he must have moved in because he knew that buck was out of there. I took him out, so he moved in to take his territory.
No, he'd been there the whole time. You just took the young buck out of the equation.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that a lot of it's just in your mind, right? Like you have this thought in your mind that like what is normal or what is good or what is bad because we've been pressed for so long on scent control and all of these things, but and or winds and thermals and all this stuff. But in all reality, I mean, we've all hunted at a young age and just kind of done whatever we wanted to do. I mean, we had a friend of ours, probably the podcast that we recorded for next week. He was talking about 1, 2, 3, go. Right? Ryan was talking about it, and like,
Mm.
how many times did you do that as a kid? You're like, I'm just going here, and I'm just doing
Yeah.
this. Like, it doesn't matter. And now we get the technology and all the technical overthinking, and we just like, oh, we have to go to this stand. Oh, the wind is going northwest. He's coming from the southeast. Like, I need to be in this stand. Like, I'm never gonna see a deer. And how many times do you get in a stand and the wind switches and you're like, I'm never gonna see a deer ever again. But 10 years ago, the wind was always doing that.
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, I'm also like I have learned the more that I hunt. So like when I first started, I listened to all the big hunters out there. I listened to what everybody said, and it's like it's all about scent control. It's all about scent control. The more that I hunt, dude, and the more stories I hear, especially from old timers, is dude that scent stuff doesn't mean shit. I mean, as long as like kind of what you're saying, the wind does switch up on you, but as long as you hunt a place where your wind is in favor, where that deer coming in is not gonna get your wind, it does not matter. I mean, I know one of the best hunters around here that I know. He's a family friend. I think he's actually related to me some way, shape, or form. But we used to hunt with him all the time. The dude used to sit up there drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes, and would kill these massive deer every year. Like it's just like you just gotta be. It's not scent control. You don't get like people used to climb up there in their jeans and fucking flannels and kill monsters. You know what I mean? Scent control don't mean shit as long as your wind is not blowing to where that deer is coming from. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter.
Do you know how I would learn how which direction the wind was blowing? It was whichever way the smoke from my dad's cigarette was blowing. That's how I would know
Yep.
where the wind was going. I mean,
Yep.
my uncle Joe was the same exact way. Like whatever
Yep.
way the wind was blowing because his cigarettes. Like,
Yep. Yeah. Nowadays, I don't even spend money on any of those like there's some like vapor producing things that cost
mm.
50, $60. Fuck that. I walk through the fields here and I pick milkweed, and I
Dude,
just sit there with the milkweed seeds and I toss them up and I figure it out. That's the cheapest way to do it.
not only is it the cheapest, it's by far the most effective.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nothing better than milkweed, period.
Yep. Because you can sit there and watch that thing go for 100
Hey,
yards, and you know exactly like what
dude,
the wind's doing at exactly which spot.
have you ever thrown milkweed out and then like a half hour later your milkweed comes back?
Yep. Oh yeah. It hits
That's
you
what
in the face, and you're like, "What the
you're
hell?"
like, what the hell?
Yeah, especially like hunting here, like I was talking about earlier with my story, kind of hunting that
Mm,
edge of the mountain, kind of like that. It is so hard to hunt here because you think your wind's blowing one way, but a second it gets out over that cliff, it all circles right back, and that's why it has taken me a few years now to figure it out. And I've kind of gotten a little bit of a grasp on it. I still don't fully have it, but it's tough hunting up here where that wind is constantly circling. So multiple times I've been in the stand, I see a good one coming, and it's just like my wind is blowing the opposite direction. How the hell did he get me? And it's
mm.
just you learn the land that you're hunting as you go.
mm.
Look,
So
yeah. You look up, he's got a piece of milkweed stuck to his nose.
yeah, that's got my finger oil on it. Nice.
Well, well, that's like even like well, you're kind of in that same realm, but like hunting in big hill country, like all the deer are in the bottoms, right? We've
Yep.
learned over the years of traveling, and you go to hunt those bottoms, and the wind swirls in the bottoms, and the reason why those deer are down there is because the wind is always in their favor.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But that's where the deer are. So you just kind of you hope that last hour that you're in there hunting that the wind is going the way that it should be going, and
Yep.
it's tough. It's tough to I think it's a tough thing to grasp, and a lot of people have a hard time grasping it. And when it clicks though. That's the whole thing about thermals.
Yep. I mean, my biggest success has come from morning hunts later in the season, like that late October, early November, where I just get in between where the deer are feeding and where they want to be, and that's where the most of my success comes. I don't want to be where they hang out. I don't want to be anything like. I get between where they're feeding and where they want to bed, whether it's the rut, whether it's anything. It's just a travel corridor, and you just you get in there in the morning where the thermals are right, and when that sun comes up, they're kind of pulling it up a little bit, so you can get away with a little bit more, and that's where I have found my most success right there in the past, especially the past couple of years. And now I'm getting more of a grasp on, everything, learning myself and not just taking other people's experiences that don't hunt the area I hunt or the land that I hunt, and just, learning for myself.
Mm. Yeah, the key thing there, I think, especially if you're targeting like specific deer or bucks or whatever, is like when you're in a travel corridor, if it's not a shooter, doe, smaller buck, whatever, like you want them to come, filter by you, and leave. Like I
Yep.
don't want deer hanging out around me all freaking day. Like
Correct.
come, I'm not spike buck, get out of here. keep
Yep.
keep her moving, right?
Yep.
Because like food plots or like in the heart of bedding, dude, you start getting these deer around you all, like you're just asking for trouble. Eventually that wind's going to shift the wrong way, or you're going to move or cough, and you get picked off. You're going to do more damage. But yeah, you get those deer just filtering by. It's like, see you later, go get out of
Yep.
here.
Yeah, and food plot hunting's tough, man. I mean, I've had times where I got 20 deer in the field and not a single one of them notices me for 30 minutes. And I mean, you're still waiting on that mature buck to finally get up and come check these does out, but you don't get that opportunity because you make one wrong movement, or like I try to film a lot of my stuff, or the sun's setting down and hits the camera lens just right or something like that, and just that one doe that's stubborn as hell picks you up and just sitting there stomping. Next thing you know, all the rest are on alert, and it clears out. Where you learn the lesson of, and I've done this quite a few times, and some people are going to tell me I'm wrong for it, where, I mean, if you get 5 or 6 doe on the plot, I'll sit there and I'll wave my hand at them saying, hey, get the fuck out of here. Like, you blow, like, especially if it's early in the hunt, get them the hell out of there and kind of wait for that later wave of deer where that mature buck is possibly hanging out with, and then filtering in where just, move on. It's not going to hurt, 2 hours before dark of me scaring a couple deer out of the plot, just because I know they're going to get me eventually. And I'd rather it be right now than 5 minutes before that big buck walks out and he never walks out.
Mm. Well, that's another thing too. If you don't shoot that night on a food plot, you still got to get out of your stand and get out of there without blowing the whole field out too. And now the big buck might be right there.
Yep.
It's closing time. It's dark. You got to somehow get out of this tree and get back to your truck without blowing the whole field out, and your hunt's over.
Yep. And a lot of people don't even think about that too, is your entry and exit. I mean, if you're kicking deer, you're ruining your hunt right there, and you're educating deer. I mean, there has been multiple spots here over the years where exactly what doe it is when she steps out, because the second she steps in on the edge of the plot, she's staring right at where she knows that tree stand is and where she picked you off before.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so frustrating because like she stays at 60-70 yards the entire time, and she won't maybe stomp or blow right away, but she knows you're there, and she's educated, you know what I mean? So it's like one of those where you almost got to take her out, but you don't really have the
Yeah.
opportunity to, because she does know. But
She got to go. You got to slip in there to a different tree one night and just take
Yeah.
that bitch out. She
Yeah.
got to go.
Oh, yeah.
10 yards out back behind this tree that you normally sit in, and she'll get it, dude. That's the way to do it. Because
No, go ahead. Finish that.
Oh, no. So one of the things that we used to do in our food plot is we would do like an hourglass setup. So like what we would do is the deer would come from, say, from the west, right? And we would narrow it down right in front of where we were, and then open up the food plot so they're not sitting right in front of you for that reason. Like, so those does aren't continually stacked in front of you eating. There's a small little trickle of food, so they feed their way through, and then they're in the big field. And then we would have like like a grass sheen in front of it so that we could get in and out. But because we've had so many problems in the past with mature does coming in, and the kid that I used to hunt with was notorious for getting blown at all the time, and the stand that was there, and I remember one time we literally, that deer, I would watch it come in and it would just stick its head up right away. I got in a saddle about 10 yards behind it. It came in, it looked up at that stand, and it ate some carbon, and that deer never blew at nobody ever again. Just
That's
because
the way to do
it's
it.
so easy. Because they get so keyed in on it.
Yep.
You know, the other thing I was actually thinking this earlier in the podcast. We were talking about coyotes and deer. You hear people talk about blowing a coyote call from your tree stand to like blow the field out so you can get out and get back to your truck. Dude, I've blown coyote calls. Like I'm coyote hunting a hayfield. There's deer in the hayfield. I'm ripping coyote howls. They don't do anything. Like
Yeah,
they don't
that's
leave
the
the
same way.
Mi-
And that ties right into what we were talking about earlier with, I mean,
Yeah,
especially around here where there are so many coyotes and so many deer that they're used to it. They're going to pick their head up and say, "What's that?" But they're not going to really, unless it's right on
yeah.
top of them, they really don't give a shit.
That's what I was gonna say next. Yeah, if they're like maybe inside of 50 and you just
Yep.
rip a howl, that might work. But dude, if they're at like 100 plus in a field, they might pick their head up and look at you and go right back to eating.
Yep.
Because they're so used to it.
Yep.
I think you're just not in
Like
that bubble,
usually,
you know.
because they hear those noises all the time. Like they get so used to them. So, well, Jake, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you, man?
Yeah. I mean, I shows all over the place, I guess is the
I
number
was
one
gonna
thing.
say,
But
hold on, yeah. Tell us like where are you going next? What's going on? Like what you doing
um,
for the rest of the year?
so I just booked 2 more today. They're kind of local here in PA where I'm from. Just trying to keep the train rolling, I guess you could say, because we just came off of 2 of the best weekends that we've ever had, from Jurassic to Hunt Stock. Blown over the moon about that. But 2 local events up here. I know we're gonna do. I can't even remember what it's called. It's like 20 minutes from here. So unless you're from the area, you probably really don't know it. It's just a 1-day thing. And then we also booked the Allegheny. I want to say it's Allegheny Sportsman's something down in
Mm.
down that way for like middle of September. And then throughout the rest of the fall, I'll be doing some local events up near me just to kind of keep stuff moving. But best way to find me is I'm on social media with Facebook, Instagram at Bowminded. Bowminded.com is where you can find all my stuff.
And they can buy online even when you're away at a show.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I
I
try.
didn't
I
know.
try to.
I didn't
You,
know.
I try. I try to reach out to everybody. I do a lot of traveling, so it makes it a little bit difficult. And in today's day and age with Amazon shipping out next day and all this stuff, I've had a few customers where they get a little frustrated with me. So, you know, excuse me. Um, I
Like
try.
Dr.
I
Phil.
try to reach out. I try to reach out and say, hey, like I'm out of town for the next week and a half. I really appreciate your patience, but the second I get home, I'll take care of it.
you don't shut down your store when you get overwhelmed because you can't get shipment out fast enough.
No, 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 no. I mean, and within that email,
They get
I always say like, hey, like if you need this by tomorrow or something, it's not going to happen. Um, I try to be honest with everybody and just say, and obviously I'll give a full refund if I have to, but
oh,
yeah,
You
no,
tell everybody.
I keep stop going.
Do you announce it when you're back? Do you like, hey, I'm back?
back.
I really wouldn't say I announce stuff too much. It's more so just like if you do happen to order. Oh, I see what you guys did there. Well,
Legends never die, don't you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
That's cool.
We were just talking about that this weekend.
I didn't know,
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know you were available online. That's cool.
Yeah, bowminded.com. Found it all there. I mean, I'm
And
always
it's a
filtering stuff in and out. I run the website. I run everything fully by myself, so I can't like promise you that if you see something at the show, it's going to be online. So I always tell everybody like, hey, if you do happen to see something at the show and you go online, it's not there, just shoot me an email. I mean, like I said, I run everything, so it's all going directly to my phone, and I try I try to take care of everybody that reaches out.
cool, Jake. Well, why don't you tell everybody what drives you outdoors before we kick you off of here?
What drives me outdoors? You guys asked me this question the first time I was on here, and I got stumped because
I
I
ask
mean,
everybody that question.
yeah, there's so many reasons, man, and it's just I think my newest T-shirt kind of really ties it all together. It's that where I find God, where I find peace. It's just something about being in a tree and being one with nature and just the deer or the squirrel or whatever walking by that has no idea you're there and you're just a part of it. It's an unbelievable feeling, and it's something I experienced at a very young age, and I just grabbed right a hold of it and haven't let go since, and it's just gotten stronger and stronger.
Well, guys, make sure to get on over to bowminded.com. Use the promo code Outdoor Drive and save 50%. No, just kidding.
Oh, we can always work something out like that. I don't know about
Yeah,
50%, but we could definitely do
yeah.
something. But
I'm just we'll post it down below. But I'm busting Jake's ass while he's on here. But no, go and support a local friend, and he's doing something amazing, and he's got some really cool stuff, some good merch, hats, sweatshirts, t-shirts, all the above. Fully lives in the outdoors, unlike some of these other ones that just don't. They just make a brand. So, Jake, we appreciate you jumping on, and for everybody else, thanks for taking the ride right here on the Outdoor Drive.
Join us at a Friends of NRA event where freedom, fun, and firearms come together like nowhere else. With more than 600 events held across the country, there's always one happening near you. From exciting games to exclusive auctions featuring one-of-a-kind firearms and gear you won't find anywhere else. Whether you're a lifelong hunter, a competitive shooter, or simply passionate about defending freedom, there is a seat for you. Visit friendsofnra.org to find an event near you and get ready for a night you won't forget.